And so he floors it. And he aims directly for the Asian woman, screeching like a banshee. I'm like, what? Welcome to the Spencer Whiteout podcast. Rated R.
We have criminal charges with you, bro. Real quick. Guess we're avoiding the shark. Call it leather fetish.
No, today turbo neck guy.
I'll give you a kiss. You give me your number.
That checked out a ton, dude. Tell me you felt.
We're Americans. We're the ones that are descendants from the 1776 musket-bearing motherfuckers.
In episode 10, we discuss what I do with my leftover eggs, cookies for Jesus, a dorm room biohazard, and the legendary Chinese freakout. There's no time to lose, so let's dive in. All right, we are back on the Spencer Whiteout podcast. I have been looking forward to doing this episode for a very long time. Who do we have on the podcast today?
Dude, we got Andy Divjak.
And the almighty
Luke Reed, ladies and genitals.
There we go.
The man, the myth, the legend, Luke Reed. Let's go.
So I figure before we give some background on Andy, we should just launch right into the egg toss, Luke, just to kind of grease the wheels a little bit.
Yeah. All right. So I was already telling you just before the podcast began, like that I had gone out to a grocery store while Spencer was like totally knocked out.
Yeah.
Spencer sleeps till 6 p.m.
Dude, I'm not a morning person. You know that.
So it's like 10 or whatever. I go out to the grocery store. I pick some stuff up, and it was an entire debacle getting back. Just by the way, because my dumbass, like, I forgot to take down the address of Spencer's new place, and I didn't know my way back. But that's neither here nor there for the purpose of this.
But you used your instincts, your animal instincts to get back, right?
That's right. Yeah, I let the spirit lead, and so I went off my intuitions and wound up being fine. But so we had some eggs, bacon, and just some like regular breakfast food and stuff. And so at the end of it, we're like cleaning up, and there's like still some eggs left. And Spencer's like figuring out what to do with it. Is he gonna save it or throw it out? And he's like, I'll probably just throw this out. I'm not gonna eat this. You know, who saves eggs?
Yeah.
And he looks directly at the garbage can. And then he walks out the front door with the plate of eggs.
Past the front door, all the locks, all the screen doors, past the plants.
Oh, and by the way, there's like 50 locks on that door.
Yeah.
They do have two. They have two
a lot of
door
locks,
handles, a deadbolt, biometric authentication,
laser scan, eye scan.
No, but seriously, they do have a lot of locks. Anyways, so he walks past the garbage can, goes out front. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? What are you going out front for? He's like, oh, well, I got to get rid of these eggs. And I'm like, yeah, you just passed the garbage can.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, this is what I do. I'm like, what? And he walks over toward the fence.
Yeah.
And they've got like this big tall fence, and he has his plate of eggs. And I'm like, what are you about to do? He's like, this is what I do.
There you go.
And he just hucks it over the fence. Eggs catapulted over. I'm like, what? And I can't believe my eyes. He just threw that into the next neighbor's yard. And he's like, this is what I do.
What I do. That's how he just gets rid of all of his eggs. Huh? Is that how it goes?
I guess. Any excess food. And I thought like
excess food.
Dude, I thought maybe it would be like kind of a redeeming explanation. He's like,
Yeah.
well, there's like people that need it. You know, that's why I'm walking out here, because there's like some guys out here that like
They're really
vagrants
egg-deprived.
and
Right.
you know, maybe they need some food. I thought he was going to like redeem it like that maybe, but he just hucks it over the fence. And he's like, that's what I do.
Oh my gosh, I love it, dude.
Why? Why, Spencer?
I didn't think it was that
how
weird
much food
until
do you
you.
think you've tossed over the fence?
A good
Ton,
amount.
like, you know,
Yeah, a good
tonnage-wise,
amount.
a couple tons of food.
Well, it started with banana peels because I was like, that's compost.
It's a slippery slope
that's
there, buddy. It's a
valuable. I know.
gateway.
Yeah, and then like other things start getting thrown over the fence, and before you know it, I've got like a whole pumpkin patch growing over
There
there.
you go. Okay, composting, looking out for the
you know,
environment.
pumpkins grow from things like that.
Just anything?
Yeah,
I didn't know
it's
that.
crazy,
Okay.
dude. They're awesome. All right, Andy, let's talk about how we met at Biola.
Yeah, dude. We met in the fabled Biola cafeteria. That's a great place. Many good memories in there. And You know, I always had an eye for spotting
Band shirts.
Well, allies. Yeah, I call them allies. And and I saw you wearing an Attack shirt. So I was like, I gotta meet this guy, dude. And then boom, we hit it off from there. And
I remember you looked at me and you're like, attack.
Yeah. I met a couple people that way at Biola, but yeah, no, that was how Spencer and I met, and we've gone to a couple shows together. And I wish we would have hung out more in college. I think you agree as well.
Oh yeah, man.
We should have been. We were pretty busy people.
It was just such a crazy time.
Yeah, it was out of control.
You
man.
were hanging with Max and Ethan and all that. And well, here's the thing, dude. You're such a boss that you just had a whole crew of followers. And I'm kind of had the same thing. So it was like, how often can we get our crews
we had like
to
some
align?
gangs, dude. It was kind of like West Side Story, but like we were friendly ally. We were ally gangs for sure.
Yeah, there was no romance though.
None of that. None of that, dude. What are you talking about?
So it was a friendly acquisition.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We did a lot of crazy, weird pranks. And one of the big ones we did that I'm probably most proud of is we started a cult called the Biola Muralists. And they have a giant Jesus mural, like 40 feet tall, like way too big. It looks weird. It's kind of sketchy, but you pass it every time you go in the calf. And so I had the idea one day, like, we should start like putting sacrifices out to this Jesus mural, like start like pretending to worship it. So we started with like a couple cookies.
Sounds so bad. Dude.
Yeah, it does sound bad, but it was like a total joke, And we started a Facebook group, and we had like clergymen and like, a whole like church council and stuff. And, people started to pick up on that we were leaving these offerings. Like,
well, it started with one cookie.
It started with one cookie. That's right. It started with one cookie. And so people started
escalated to like slaughtered goats.
Basically, it was crazy. Like, we started with one cookie, and then there were people bringing like candles to light, like religious candles to light in front of it. And then like one day, some insane girl decided to steal an entire like mound tray of cookies, like hundreds of cookies, and just place them out.
Yeah,
it was nuts, dude. And like people were like joining the Facebook group and stuff like that. And some theologians, because Biola was a Bible school, so there were some theology majors that caught wind of this and didn't like that we had a cult called the Biola Muralists. That was quite obviously a joke, but they didn't think it was a joke. They got on our Facebook group and started like arguing with us about theology and how we're heretics and how this is not okay. God's gonna punish us for this kind of stuff. And all we responded was nonsensical, things that didn't make sense, and that made them very frustrated. But that was a great time over at Biola, where we basically started worshiping the mural over there.
Oh my gosh! So it caught on.
Yeah, other people were doing it.
And other people joined in, thinking like, "Hey, this is a thing to do. We got to get it like a whole entire plate of
it became
cookies."
a problem because there would be no cookies in the calf, and you would know why. Like there was never any cookies, and they had to like put like a like a sticker on the cookie tray thing. That's like
you can't take the tray out of it
because
people were taking like you're just supposed to take the food, not the like actual physical property.
Oh, I didn't realize she actually took the tray.
Yeah, she took the entire tray out. That's why it was a problem, because people were she just walked out of the cap with an entire like the property of the cafeteria and put it in front. It was pretty funny.
But dude, people would steal forks and things from the cap all the time.
It was kind of Wild West pirate stuff going on there, dude.
Right, because it was like, we're too broke to afford plates and stuff, so we would just steal them from the cap, and we're like, we'll return these 4 years later when we graduate. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Dude, one time I felt really bad. I still remember this, Luke. One time I was at your place, and there was like these plastic plates or whatever, and I finished eating, and I was like, all right, so do I just throw this away? And then
Keep going.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just like, hey, do I throw this away? And you guys are like, no, we reuse that. Like, that's our fine china. And I felt horrible for legit thinking that, this plate is disposable. And it's like, no, we're so poor. That's all we can afford. We wash our paper plates. Let's talk about Self-Help Fest 2015, because this is probably the highlight of our friendship back in the day. And
that was an epic moment, dude. I can say it was a great time for our friendship. And also, that is when my wife and I, we weren't dating at the time, kind of were like, okay, we're crushing on each other. You know what I mean? I was in the pit, like protecting her. I had my arms around her, but like I was hovering because I was being respectful, as you do. And there was
no actual contact.
Yeah.
6 inches for Jesus.
Yeah, exactly,
mural.
dude. Jesus mural. And there was a great moment in the pit where actually her and I got separated, and we met this big Samoan dude who was not wearing a shirt.
Oh, we have a story about a big Samoan guy.
He was just a sweat machine, basically.
Sweat factory.
But we befriended him.
Sweat machine.
And there was
a gangster.
An amazing moment where we got separated in the pit, and he grabs my hand because I was looking for Rainey. Mm-hmm. I could see him pulling me to something. He's got Rainey's hand in his other arm, and he's pulling us together above his head, basically. Like he's like the great force to like bring us together, and I think that's what solidified
So you owe
it.
your marriage to a
grabs-
sweaty Samoan sweat factory, sweatshop.
At self-help fest.
Does he like press your faces together and make you kiss like dolls?
I mean,
Is he
he
that
was-
large? He's like a Goliath
Dude, he was
man.
big. He was yeah, he was like some sort of weird like godlike
I feel like there's a joke to be made about like the lubrication of the sweat and just like how smooth things went after that.
self-help. That was actually really fun. There was a lot of fun little stories from that one, huh?
Yeah.
Do you want to tell a couple of them? I think
Yeah.
you should
So,
tell
I
the
mean,
Nick Major story. That was a
I'll
really
tell
funny
the
one.
Nick Major story in a second, but
Yeah.
okay, the lineup was amazing because there
Yeah.
was A Day to Remember, Issues, The Story So Far, and they played Rome as the last song, and I freaking loved that song.
Yeah.
And at that time, it was even still an old song, and
Yeah,
they played
yeah.
it, and it was just like the best ever. And then August Burns Red, Under Oath, Thy Art Is Murder.
Under
it was
Oath
just
was
like
amazing that time.
crazy.
Oh my gosh.
And then A Day to Remember, after their set, they were like milking the encore for 10 minutes. You know what? Do you remember this?
Oh, I remember it.
Because, like, you know, when a band is going to come back on, the lights are all still dark. If the
Yeah.
show's over, all the lights come on and then music starts playing and everyone knows, okay, it's time to filter out. But the lights were still off and everyone's like, one more song. And then people were kind of like, and they kind of stopped chanting.
They
And
barely
then-
gave him like 10 one more songs, by the way. It was like maybe 2 or 3 one more songs, and the crowd kind of fizzled out, right?
And then the lights flash a couple times.
they're trying to
and
get us
everyone's
to
like,
do it. Yeah.
oh, and then they start chanting one more song. And then another couple minutes go by and nothing's happening.
Yeah.
And then the cheering dies down. And then the lights flash again. It's like, what?
It was funny because I remember looking at people next to me and being like, I don't even want it one more song. Like,
Right.
And like people were
It's
like,
not
they're like,
worth
why are
it.
they still doing this? Like, this is so stupid.
So
Just
they
like-
wanted you guys to beg for it. in
Yeah,
other
but
words.
nobody wanted to beg for it because I think this is my theory. It's an Under Oath. This is one of their like big comeback shows.
Oh, yeah, it was their big
And
comeback.
it was insane how well they played, and people were chanting one more song for a while for Under Oath, but obviously they weren't the headliners, so they didn't do
couldn't-
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I think that people just were like, "Can we just bring Under Oath back on
Yeah.
for another set?"
Oh no.
Just play the same set you just played.
the other guy.
Yeah,
We hate you.
Really funny that they just went on and on. They were the ones trying to push it, but nobody in the crowd. Thousands of people were not interested in another A Day to Remember song.
Yeah.
It reminds me of like youth pastors when they're like, how's everybody doing today? Come on, one more time. You can do better than that.
You can do better. That was 50%. We need 100.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, and also at this time, another reason why we weren't very psyched on A Day to Remember is because this was when they started to go downhill and they just
Yep.
dropped their Paranoia single.
Yep, that's it. I
and
think
they
yeah.
were promoting this single so hard. They're like, new album, let's go, Paranoia.
Yep.
And they're like flying a plane above the sky that's like doing, I don't remember if it was a banner or
think it was a
like-
banner, right?
Or yeah, I think it was a banner. It would have been a little cooler if it was like the jet fuel that
Yeah,
like spells
yeah,
out the
yeah.
words in the sky.
Or like the
Smoke or whatever.
Scarface blimp. Instead of the world is yours, it's like
Paranoia. So they're like promoting this song super hard.
Yeah.
And they think it's like the best song since Homesick
dude,
or
people
whatever.
were trying to hype it up. The industry was trying to hype it up like it was a
Right.
big thing, but nobody was buying
Yeah,
it.
nobody liked it. And so then we're sitting on the grass and then Nick Major comes through and he was like very much a part of the like alternative press magazine. He was their AP TV correspondent. So he would be on their
Warped
YouTube.
Tour, every live show ever.
Right.
So, yeah.
So he was cool because he was like a reporter.
Yeah.
And so he was going around interviewing people and with a camera crew and stuff. And he just randomly struts by and sees us all sitting on the grass. And we're like, hey, Nick, what's up?
Like, what are you
Yeah.
doing?
And he's all like, he comes and like sits down next to us. And he's all like, all right, guys. So A Day to Remember, Paranoia. What do you think?
And I was like, it's all right. You know, I'm trying to be polite, but I really didn't like
Yeah, we
it.
hate
And
that
neither did
song.
anybody like it.
Trying to let him down
Nobody
easy
else
on
liked
that
it.
one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I trying to let him down easy, but he was
It's all right.
the life just like left his face. He was not expecting that.
Well, no, he's probably
answer.
getting that same answer all
You
day
think
long
so?
every
Yeah,
day.
he
I mean,
was,
he's
yeah.
like, he's just like, again.
Yeah, he's
no
always
one
more
likes this
frustrated,
song.
yeah.
And the best part though is like right after Andy says that, it's all right. Nick Major like looks right into the camera and is like, yeah, we're not going to use
Yes.
this. In case the audience hears the AC come on, that's what happened. We had to throw that thing on.
just getting a little soupy up in here. I'm sure you guys appreciate.
It's getting a little swamp crotchy, so I figured we need to air it out a little bit.
Crotchy.
We're talking
Crotchal
Dagobah
region.
system over here,
Yeah,
bro.
it really is
Crotchal
technically-
region.
yeah, that's a good way of
Imagine
putting it,
all
dude.
that, but in the Crotchal region.
The Dagobah system.
Ben, Dagobah system.
Oh man.
All right, let's talk about Biola a little bit more. And you being an RA.
I was an RA the last year of the all guys dorm. Okay.
Oh yeah.
And that is already going to be that's a recipe for disaster, right? We had a lot of good times there, but what kind of defined it was the prank wars that kind of ensued. So it started with this one big prank where this one kid left his door unlocked. He was in a single room by himself, right? He was right across from the bathroom. And we had all the manpower, okay? We have a whole guy's dorm of manpower. So we decided to take everything out of his room and put it in the bathroom exactly like it is in his room.
No way.
And then we took the hall phone and we tied it to his ceiling fan, really like eerie, like spinning thing and making weird noises. It was awesome. So he comes back and he's like, what the heck? And he had the greatest reaction ever. He was kind of chaotic and he would kind of ask this type of behavior upon him because
He forced your hand, in other
he kind of
words.
forced her hand because like one day is a perfect example of what he would kind of incite violence. He came up to me. He really would. This kid would come out and like wrestle people without telling them we're doing wrestling. One time he came into my room and just like slapped me in the face and then walked out. And I was like just shocked. What the heck? So we started this big
Totally
prank war.
unwarranted.
So it escalated to a point where Josh decides to shit in a bag and gaslight Darren and half the floor. So half of us are in it, half of us aren't in on it. Plants it in his own bed and blames Darren. And then we're like, what? This is crazy. Like, Darren, you took it too far. We know that we've all been pranking each other, but like, you just can't shit in a bag and put it in somebody else's bed. Like, that's a biohazard, dude. Like, what the heck? And
Take
so
your Amber Heard underhanded tactics out of here.
Right, exactly. But it was funny because like all the while we were trying to make it look like Darren was taking it too far.
Yeah,
Josh.
the quote is Darren went too
Yeah,
far.
Darren went too far, but actually Josh was the one who went too far because who shits in a bag and tries to gaslight somebody else into thinking that they shit in a bag and put it in their own bed. We had a lot of fun on that floor, and the last day of school, it was graduation, dude. Okay, so all these people are walking in front of our dorm with their nice fancy outfits and stuff like that. Their parents are there.
Looking like a Baptist choir.
Yeah, looking like a beautiful Baptist choir, okay? And I don't know what I was thinking, but we all decided to start slingshotting from the back of the dorm water balloons to try and hit the people in their nice clothes on the other side.
As they're walking across. Graduation.
It was like the stupidest thing.
Picking them off.
It was terrible, right? Like, why would you do that to like someone's like great big day that they've been working their entire lives for? Like, I
That's
don't know.
what's so beautiful about it.
Maybe-
You're crushing the thing that means most to them.
Exactly. I think the prank wars really twisted our view of reality and what was okay.
Just lost total sense.
But it was really funny. We had like a spotter on the other side, like, all right, clear the fire. You know what I mean? Like
Walkie-talkie.
Walkie-talkies were using
Freaking night vision goggles too, even though it's in the daytime.
Like black ops. We never hit anybody, but I go back to my room. Campus safety walks up straight to my room. They know exactly what's going on. Yeah. And he goes, were you shooting water balloons across the dorm to try and hit people on the other side? And I was like, I can't win this one. So I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that. And I handed him my ID because they would take your ID and like scan it and like charge you fines and stuff like that at Biola if you were doing bad things. And so he was just like, all right, just don't let it happen again, kid. And then he just walked away. It was awesome. God bless him.
Well, let's talk about
You
Luke.
guys went hard.
Yeah, we went.
Luke,
we went
let's
out of
talk
control.
about our greatest prank, or at least one of them. Chinese freakout.
The Chinese freakout. So we're mobbing around Rockland, probably going to Taco Bell. We used to have these get-togethers that we would title Beanovers, and Spencer would
I love it.
sleepover, and there's
Yeah.
beans involved, so it's like sleepover with beans, Beanover.
Yeah, okay, I love it.
You know,
We basically
Okay,
just
so-
get Taco Bell and rent a movie from Blockbuster.
Oh yeah, dude.
So
but I
sick.
live close enough to like the Blockbuster and the
Yeah.
Taco Bell that we would walk there. It was a whole event, you know. And it all started with Back to the Future, dude. So we just kind of be mobbing around and like killing time and like driving around and stuff. And so at one point we're at the top of this hill just blasting his metal music. And this is back before I kind of joined the team a little bit. Now, I love the scene. I love going to the concerts and getting in the mosh pit and getting clutched by Samoans. You know,
Dude, I was playing Icy
What were you
Stars, Boris the Animal.
Oh my gosh,
this
that goes
was
hard. That goes hard.
This was right when this came
something
out.
that just possesses him
Yeah,
with
it was-
reckless ideas, right?
And we're in the big suburban tank.
Yeah,
Like
so
the
this is what he's
huge-
driving at the time. Like, and if
Full
you've ever
steel.
no, seriously, like if you ever shut one of those doors, it's like this is a tank. So he gets the wildest look in his eye. He slaps me on the thigh. He goes, "Check this out." And
we're
we
in the
see
far left lane.
we're in the far left lane,
way in the
but-
fast lane.
Yeah.
But over on the sidewalk, we see this large Asian woman on a nice casual jog. She's blowing off some steam from a long, work at like her accountant's office or whatever.
Right,
and
right, right.
she's hustling up and she's huffing and puffing and
full
stuff.
spandex,
Full
dude.
spandex.
Boom.
Nothing on underneath. and you can tell. And so he floors it.
No
Blasts
warning,
the music.
full throttle. 70 and a 30, dude.
He's just blasting,
Breaking multiple
man.
laws.
Pedal to the metal, hops over 3 lanes.
Swerves 3 lanes.
He's screeching like a banshee. And I'm like, what is going on? And he aims directly for the Asian woman ascending up the hill.
way.
And I'm losing control. I'm like, what the heck is happening?
And I just
same with her
swerve- I
because she
swerve back
sees
right at
this
the
massive
last
tank
second, dude.
barreling over various
Like
lanes,
Mel
multiple
Gibson
lanes.
She
over to
dives
her.
into the bush, dude, to escape. And I swerve out of the way at the last second.
Unbelievable.
She dove into the bush. She was in fear for her life, dude.
Yeah. Oh my god.
And so we carry on, and he like parks in the neighborhood. So honestly, I was pissed off at him.
Yeah,
because
yeah,
I
yeah.
was like, dude, that's nasty, man. Like
That's attempted murder. dude.
she was really, really scared, and you could
Yeah,
tell.
yeah.
Yeah. And he's like, oh man, like it kind of like sunk into him.
Yeah,
He's
I was
like,
like, I'm so sorry.
I got a little out of control, and
I don't know what came
stream of
over me.
Boris
Day to
the
remember
Animal
just
came over you.
possessed me for a second, and like
Paranoia.
I didn't know.
Paranoia.
And, yeah, and I'm like, dude, like you got to be careful of that stuff. And he's like, maybe we should turn on like the police scanner and see if somebody's after us. And he's like, he turns
I'm,
on
like,
the radio.
going for the
he's,
AM
he's
radio.
looking for like police scanner radio. I'm like, it's not even on there. You got to buy one
Trying
of
to
those.
access the actual like police network through the AM radio.
Right. And once I had de-escalated and like
Yeah,
got my
yeah.
breath and like I was like, listen, man, that was kind of messed up, but pretty funny.
Pretty funny. I thought with the bean off, you guys were going to throw beans at her or
Bean
something
off.
like that. That's what I thought. Or whatever you guys are talking
Dude,
about.
the bean off?
The bean
Dude,
off.
one time,
no, it's a
Imagine
bean
just
over,
throwing a
bean over,
burrito
bean
right
over.
into her face.
That's what I thought you guys were going to say. I was like, oh, that's
blasted
pretty
with a
gnarly,
5-layer.
Spencer. That's pretty gnarly move by your part. But hey, hindsight's funny, dude. That's what I'm saying, dude.
You talk about messed up. You can't go to Taco Bell and get the 89-cent beefy 5-layer anymore.
Dude, inflation.
I used to
dude.
be inflation,
dude.
yeah. No, but it's been a steady burn
dude,
with that
gas
one.
prices at Taco Bell have gone up, dude.
Well, you used to be able to rifle through your couch and
I know.
scrounge to get 89 cents
And
to
just
get a
get
beefy
a-
5-layer.
Just
Oh,
scrounge
and
together a
$5 is
burrito from the
so
cracks
good,
in the
too.
couch, dude.
Dude, now it's like $12 or
Yeah,
something.
that's
I don't know.
ridiculous, dude.
Hey, talk about what happened at Ralph's outside of Taco Bell. It was in the same parking lot with the whoopee cushion, dude.
Okay, yeah. So a little prank here during one of those walks, like with our bean over thing, and we're walking around, like going to Blockbuster, going to Taco Bell.
Yeah.
We hit the grocery store because we had to pick up some supplies, and Spencer gets another amazing idea. And he sees these whoopee cushions, and it's like new tech. Because they're
Apple
self-inflating,
iPhone
dude.
13.
Oh,
dude.
yeah, yeah.
They're
'cause these are
self-inflating.
self-inflating.
What? Yeah, so like you don't have to blow into
they've got
them.
the foam in them, right?
So
Yes.
it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
dude, it's like the inception of like the repeater rifle and how that changed the West. You know, he was like, you do realize like what this means.
Yeah.
This is a game changer.
And so he gets 2 of them and he's farting around the entire grocery store. And so he's like, oh, dude, let's like prank some people. And so
Yeah.
he's rolling up to some people and they're like reaching for the macaroni or whatever. And he
bending
like
down,
he
yeah.
like blasts it in their ear and they're like, and he's like, sorry. And he's like, let's go over to the hot dog aisle.
Yeah.
And then the fuzz, you know.
Yeah,
Okay, so
oh,
like
yeah, they
the
rolling up,
manager,
right,
the
yeah.
manager there, and he's got his
Yeah.
button down on. He
Classic.
like catches wind and stuff, and he comes and talks to us. He goes, hey, listen, we've been hearing some stuff. I don't know, but you got to get the hell out of here. like right now. And never come back.
Yeah.
That's what he says.
Yeah, he says
he
really?
starts all like
He
acting
got
all tough.
banned for
Yeah.
whoopee cushion pranks,
He's got
dude.
like puffed chest syndrome and
Yeah,
stuff.
dude, yeah.
He's like, hey, listen, you gotta go. I'm like, this is the grocery store. Like, where am I
Yeah.
supposed to get groceries
Yeah.
now? I just got blacklisted.
Yeah.
from Ralph's.
For harmless whoopee cushion pranks, dude.
Yeah, I'm on
Yeah.
a no-fly list now.
On the no fart list. If you enjoyed this episode, do me a favor, take 5 seconds and leave a 5-star review. I'll love you forever. Follow me on the social medias at Spencer Whiteout. Be sure to stay tuned, stay hyped. That's an order, and that's a wrap.
Inserting exclusive audio recording from the vault.
Luke, for the new video, I'm thinking about trying to do a lot of new voice samples in the video.
Trying to do some moist samples?
No, voice samples. Voice samples.
What are those, like stool samples? Some moist samples? Dude, it's so good.
And that's it.